This may be the last place in Singapore where street vendors exist, and yet no one's really talking about it. I've walked past these streets countless times, but today felt different. Maybe it's because I'm starting to notice what's slowly disappearing. You'll find them on little red stools under big umbrellas parked next to the temples. They sell tissue packets, flowers, and even jade bracelets. To some, they're just part of the background. But if you really stop and look, you'll realize that they're the last remaining echoes of a time when Singapore's streets were filled with hawkers, peddlers, and storytellers. And what happens when even they are gone? Waterloo Street is special. Flanked by the Kwan Im Thong Hood Cho Temple and Sri Krishnan Temple, this stretch has long been a crossroads of faith, culture, and commerce. Here, incense from the temple mixes with the smell of street flowers. You'll hear prayers in one language, music in another, all while the vendors call out to passers-by, not loudly, just enough to be noticed. It's a scene that feels like it shouldn't exist anymore, but somehow it still does. Well, these street vendors has been around for decades, some over 30 years, selling joysticks, prayer items, flowers, and even small household goods. They're part of the street's identity, yet even though they remain in the legal grey zone, they are kind of like tolerated, but they were never formalized. So to understand this, we need to go back. In the 1960s and 70s, Singapore's streets were buzzing with vendors, selling everything from cooked food to knickknacks and used items. But in the name of hygiene, order, and urban planning, a mass relocation happened. Between the 1970s and the 1980s, the government began moving hawkers into multi-purpose built markets and food centers. And rightly so, these were the times of sanitation challenges and public health risk. Street food vendors were among the first to be regulated. Today, that system is known worldwide as our iconic hawker culture. But what actually happened to the rest? The non-food vendors didn't quite fit into hawker centers. They weren't selling meals. They weren't even licensed hawkers by the same definition. So over time, they were squeezed out. And slowly, they vanished. Which brings us back to Waterloo Street. So why are these vendors still here? Officially, this is state land, managed by the Singapore Land Authority. The vendors don't hold licenses. They're here out of informal arrangement, perhaps even quiet tolerance. And yet, if you ask around, nobody seems to have a straight answer about why they're still here. Some say it's respect for tradition, others think it's simply because they never left. Either way, it's rare. In a city obsessed with rules, this little grey zone feels almost rebellious. But that means there's no security in their future. No new vendors are allowed, and once these familiar faces retire, that might be the end. So what's left? Well, we do still see the tissue paper sellers, which are mainly sold by the elderly and those who are physically challenged as well. They rely more on the public goodwill. And of course, don't forget your ice cream uncles, those bright umbrellas, your wafer sandwiches, and the colourful ice cream. I've been trying to find the ice cream uncle, but I think it's too cold of a day to have an ice cream, I think. This isn't just about nostalgia. It's about how cities evolve and what they choose to leave behind. These vendors might not sell the products that you need, but they're a part of what made our streets feel human. They were your go-to when you forgot an umbrella. They gave you tissues when you needed one, even if you didn't. They added color, quirk, and soul to the corners of our city. And once they're gone, you start to feel it. That empty space, that silence. Singapore is always changing, and I wonder what's the cause of losing all of these little things that actually shaped Singapore for what it is today. Street vendors are more than just sellers. They're symbols of resilience, of personality, of the everyday human story. And in places like this, maybe we still have a chance to pay attention before they start to disappear completely. So if you're ever in Waterloo Street, do come down, take a look for yourself, buy something, support them, because when they're gone for good. 130 ah? I pay now can ah?
You vlogging?
Yes.
Don't vlog me eh?
I promote you okay?
No. I go low shot. Kita low shot come here.
Okay, 130. Okay.
Low shot come here. You know along.
Okay, yeah, thank you.